Alright, so welcome back to Seconds Out. If you haven't already catched our previous installment, do head over to the Corner in Asia, where Wei Xuan talks about his journey into boxing. So for today, let's continue our conversation and shift our focus towards the future. Wei Xuan, it's great to have you back with us again. Woo!
Hello, thanks, Ben. Some claps here and there.
Okay, so Rishan, you've achieved so much at such a young age, So where do we go from here, Looking forward, what are your main goals for the upcoming Olympic qualifiers?
Oh, uh, wow. I mean, definitely, getting into the podium is definitely the main goal there because ultimately the podium means qualifying for Olympics. I also understand that this is a big step up, but also at the same time, I'm not gonna waste any opportunity that I get. So, yeah, I know, I trained hard. I trust my training, I trust my coaches and everything. And I believe that I can, show them what's up.
Yeah,
So yeah, the main
I
goal is
think, I think
podium.
that's it's like, it's the, how to say, when it comes to like, even, I mean, personally for me also lah, like when it comes
Mm.
to like the moment you step into the ring, like, or like essentially your boxing career lah, like these are like some of the giant milestones that you really wanna, like you clearly like is something that plays a huge role lah in your plays a huge part in your career lah, right?
Yep.
So in terms of nerves and like, how to say, any like, do you have any worries when it comes to this kind of thing?
I mean, most definitely, man. To be honest, in all my fights, I'm scared. Yeah, I definitely have a lot of fear in me also. Like, what could happen, and all that. But I guess, through having to, sort of like face these challenges, and also overcome this fear, right? I just know how to, manage this fear a lot better.
Mm,
And somewhat, I come up with like, certain routines, or people call it rituals before
mm,
the fight, and like what you do to really get you into that zone. So I guess through experience also, and being intentional with how you feel and being truthful also, it really helped me a lot.
yeah. Like the
Mm.
whole part of like being vulnerable, right? Like to like like people always think, I feel like many people have this impression of like even Singapore athletes that
Mm.
they are like really like unstoppable, like they can climb to this far, like nothing at this point, like nothing really like, how to say, nothing really deters them from getting to like the international stage, right? But
Mm.
I feel like, that might not be the case lah. Like deep down we all have our own personal personal fears, and it's really how we overcome it lah, I think. Yeah.
Yes, correct. I guess, I mean, it's good to recognize that, it's scary at times. But also don't discredit yourself lah. I mean, I train every single day. Like it's a bit, yeah, it's a bit like what the heck. Like, if I'm going there with that kind of mindset, like, I'm just here to take part or whatever, right? It's a bit, I feel like I'm doing a disservice to myself.
Mm,
Yeah.
yes,
You know,
yes.
I posted this question to Lucas in one of our podcast episodes, but I would also like to ask you the same questions. Do you have a superstition before
Oh,
going onto the ring? Like, is there a ritual that you must follow?
okay. So yeah, right now I do have some form of like routine for myself. But I won't go into too specific lah. But I think this routine is just mainly to sort of like, as mentioned before, it really helped me get into that zone and get to the place where I'm like, okay, this is time. It's time to, compete. Uh, I think small things, just as small things like how do I get into the ring, and do I go to the center first to bow to all judges? All these things make sense to me.
Mm,
And it sort of like helped me to get my body to recognize that, hey, this is time. Yeah, because I remember there are a few times I didn't sort of like do this routine, right? Or when I just first started out, or actually just a few years back, right, actually. I didn't really plan a routine or whatever. I just got to the ring, and I just like it just felt very off. It felt like, wait, what am I doing? Yeah, it just feel a bit messy. But let's say if you have a certain a certain routine, right? That you before the fight you visualize first, you will feel like you're more in control. So that I think that's the biggest change lah for me.
Oh. I was thinking like superstition, you will wear like, if you are a red corner, then you wear red underwear. Then you
Oh,
you wear blue.
no way.
No lah,
Those
just a
kind
prank.
of okay, but not really. I
Oh,
don't think I no leh. No, no,
oh,
no, no. I don't do that. I don't do that.
I see, I see. No, but
Yeah,
honestly, like,
mm,
like what you said really makes sense, even for me lah, because like
yep.
I would say also like in terms of my own personal boxing journey, I have I believe that I still lack a lot of exposure in like in terms of sanctioned amateur bouts and like
Mm,
when it comes to like your routine, I would feel it really helps it shines a light lah for like aspiring boxers in Singapore also, and you can tell that like like there are a lot of young talent coming about, which brings me to my next question as well. So it's like
mm.
from your own point of view, like do you like what are some changes that you have observed in the local boxing scene when it comes to fight up and coming fighters also.
Oh, they are definitely a lot better now. When I first started out. I'm sure I think it's also because like coaching got a lot better, things are a lot more structured. Also at the same time, they are exposed to a lot more fights and also events now. And I may be wrong. I believe that just a few years back, like when I first started out, back then there weren't a lot of fights, and also at the same time, I feel like not a lot of like boxers face like very experienced boxers so early on also. Yeah,
Mm,
I think right now nowadays it's like there are like open categories where like boxing league, you
yeah.
can like it's your first fight you can fight someone that has already like 10 plus fights. It could be a good and bad thing, yes, but I feel like uh at the end of the day it's a fight. Uh
Mm,
you always have a fighting chance, and that's why I love this sport, because there's always a chance for you to win. And I feel like right now they all sort of have these upcoming boxers that I see, right? They're all very confident, and they don't have that like, oh, you're better than me mindset. I feel like they're always they're a lot hungrier than the competitors from when I first started. Lah. That's the main difference I see.
Okay, building off that,
Mm.
what are you, when you said there were up and coming talents, what qualities do you think is essential for young boxers to succeed in this sport?
Uh, I think firstly, let's not talk about athletic abilities. Lah. I think it's more of like the attitude. I guess fearless is one factor.
mm,
Yeah, I feel like there's a lot of like, even though this is a scary sport, right? At times I still feel like not a lot of people are willing to step up and all that.
mm.
So I guess those people who is like, okay, whoever it is, I will just keep on challenging myself and whatnot. I think that is a very strong quality and the most important factor, I feel. Yeah.
Well, actually, I want to build on from that. From there, I really do agree that like even like when it comes to fearlessness, right? It's not about like your personal fears. It's about like how
Mm.
you portray yourself to others. Also, it's the fact that you are always there. Like 24/7, ready to take similar to like Alex Volkanovski from the UFC, right?
Yep,
I
yep.
like this. That's the kind of trait where it's really like you can tell this, no win or loss, right? This guy is a natural born fighter. This is the definition of fighter, and that's like
Mm.
very rare to see. I don't know about you lah, but I how to say I don't I have yet to witness up and coming fighters. Yeah, from there lah. Yeah.
Maybe I've seen like people have that quality definitely. but I think it's also too early to tell lah.
True.
So yeah, but I would say that that is one of the most important sort of like trait also. Yeah, to tell like whether someone will succeed or not. I
Yeah.
think regardless of like sports or maybe career wise, I
Mm.
think just not being afraid to step up and take up challenges. That's one important trait lah that all should instill also.
But I also believe that like, when it comes to like the more junior fighters, right? It's
Mm,
also it sort of takes two hands to clap where junior fighters are only nurtured by really how to say reputable mentors and capable mentors, in that sense. Yeah.
yes.
So I think that brings me to my like sort of like my next question for you lah. Like in
Mm,
terms of like maybe like you see yourself down the line, like after beyond the Olympics lah, like like what are some like long-term aspirations in boxing, like in boxing and your professional life after like maybe like your 30s. Yeah, very curious to know like where you see it going.
as in where do I see myself outside of the
Yeah.
sport?
Like, do you see yourself going out of the sport, or do you see yourself like, staying put, maybe like even venturing into the coaching scene and being a mentor to these like younger fighters? Mm.
Um,
Yeah.
okay, I guess definitely being a mentor. I think there's something that I would be happy to do.
Mm.
I guess one way or another, doing setting up the SUSS boxing IG is
Mm.
one way of mentoring also.
True.
Yeah. I mean, personally, I do enjoy coaching and mentoring, and that's what I've been doing also. Yes, I definitely see myself in a few years still doing this, but also at the same time when it comes to competitive, right? Like whereas when would I stop competing or whatsoever? Uh, I mean, for me, I did set a timeline for myself, which only a few people know. Like when would I really stop? But
Mm.
I won't gonna say it. I'm not gonna say it lah.
Of course, of
But
course. Yeah.
yeah, but I think right now it's more of like I understand where's the timeline is at, and that's why I also want to make the best out of like whatever time I'm left with the sport lah. In terms of like competition and whatsoever. Then I guess afterwards I will just take whatever lessons I have from this sporting journey, and I believe it can translate to the business and career in the future lor.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I
I
think
hope
that
I'm answering the questions, man.
definitely. Like I would say
Mm,
like, lah, I feel like it's something that all athletes lah, I think no matter what discipline, no matter what sport you do, it
mm,
comes to a point where like, you always talk about the future of sports in Singapore, in particular athletes lah, like where do they go afterwards? Like, is it like
ah,
yes, like this even you can even branch out into like the concept of uh achieving a successful career, athletic career in Singapore, like
mm.
I think it goes uh like you can definitely debate and discuss about this for a very long time. Yeah, that's all I think.
Okay, so for Wei Xuan, right, moving forward, it'll be beneficial for the boxing scene in Singapore to grow. So,
Mm.
what do you think is necessary in order to increase the quality of the local boxing scene?
I mean, currently right now, honestly, they're doing a good job in terms of like setting up more fights for us, especially like the boxing league, also giving us more overseas exposure also. I guess the next part is also like coaching and also like the training. I feel like because right now there's a lot of like boxers, but when it comes to coaches wise, I guess maybe there should be maybe more experienced coaches lah to guide us.
We need quality coaches lah to bring out, and then I think that is also coming. That's up and coming also. We are seeing more quality coaches
coaching is definitely one thing. I mean, right now I understand there's like a certificate going on by hosted by Singapore Boxing Federation also to really guide up and coming coaches or coaches themselves. Yeah, I guess it's still the same point whereby, if you have more funding, better training facilities, more overseas tournaments, and I guess they will have more funds to, host more competitions and maybe even bring in overseas boxers to come and compete with us. I think those will be good. Yeah, definitely regular trainings lah. Sorry, regular competitions. That will definitely, keep us sharp, keep us switched on also. Yeah,
Right.
I think those things though.
I agree lah. In terms of the switch on, right? If you bring in international talent, right, to constantly push you, right, you will be a bit more
Yeah.
competitive than just competing like locally lah, right?
Because I understand, some other like other countries, the top quality ones, right? Those countries that are like, always podiums on, they are competing
Hmm.
so often, like every month they have tournaments. And one tournament they fight like 4 or 5 times, which is crazy. So they are always in fight mode all year round. And I guess that's what makes the difference. So they not only they have the experience, they also have that. It became a new norm, really. Competing and fighting
Hmm.
for them. So it's
Yeah.
easier for them to get into that zone faster,
Hmm.
getting switched on. So yeah, I would love to have that as well, lah.
Become a full time, almost like a full time slash part time lah. Really, I don't know. Like they committed themselves to the cause, to their purpose, sole purpose of achieving greatness lah. Like if we
Mm,
were to cut corners, or not even cut corners, if we were to not give our best lah for our
yeah.
for our fighters as well, I think that is quite I would say untapped potential. Yeah. Hmm.
But also at the same time, I mean, we all know, like, most of the Singapore athletes, we are all also like sort of like part-time. Because, we are doing this, we still have a full-time job, or maybe we are studying. Uh, so yeah, I guess,
I think maybe like to summarize what you're trying to, like the points you were trying to get across in terms of like what can be done to further improve the boxing scene in Singapore is really definitely additional funding will help out all fighters, all athletes in terms of facilities and training as well as the coaching.
mm,
And also I guess sort of like honing those like the qualities of being a fighter lah. Like we need to start like we need to start encouraging people to be vulnerable with themselves and know themselves lah. And I think that is what boxing can sort of give uh for like what boxing can provide to aspiring athletes also. Like really is
mm.
overcoming thyself, master yourself, master the enemy, that kind of thing.
Oh, that is good, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, that's a good summary, man.
Yep.
Okay,
Solid,
so
solid.
once again, we would like to thank Wei Xuan for joining us today. For those of us who wants to follow him on his journey to Milan, do head over to Cardioshan on Instagram. And do remember to also drop a visit to Primate for all your essential boxing apparel. Last but not least, we would like to wish Wei Xuan all the best in the upcoming fight. Everyone here is rooting for you. And that concludes season 1 of Seconds Out. Thank you all for
Yeah.
being part of this journey, and we would like to invite you to subscribe to the Cornerman Singapore for updates on season 2 of Seconds Out, which we are very excited to work on with many stakeholders in the amateur boxing, coming very soon in May. And as usual, we will see you in the next one. Bye, guys.
Bye guys.
Bye, everyone.